Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Edwin Braun of Siebes Visual Technology. We're a software company providing highly specialized visual effects tools to the 3D movie industry. I want to talk in this video about the AI revolution that is happening right now all around us. And I also want to talk in short about how it might affect or will affect our industry and why I think it's not that big of a deal. And also I will show you live a software solution, an AI solution that is state of the art right now that can create out of one image a 3D object, which is quite amazing and scary at the same time. But before I show you the actual AI application, I want to talk a little bit about the industrial change and why everyone is so scared about AI. We have to accept that AI already is affecting a lot of people. There's a lot of people that lost their job to so-called AI solutions. And there probably will be more coming. I think this change we are seeing right now is comparable or similar to things that already and always happen all the time in the industry and in the human history. So for example, let's just take a simple, cheap example. In the past, we had horse carriages or coaches. People were traveling with horse. They were going long distance with horses. And believe it or not, that's not so long ago. And there are people who said horses will be around forever. No one wants to go with stinking, noisy, squeaky coaches. So there were actually people saying, no, horses will stay forever. And we all know how it turns out. The same with trains and locomotives. First, they were coal-fired, and then came the next evolution with oil and diesel. And now we have electric trains that go insane speed from city to city. Also, when we look at farming, people started by hand. Then they had horses helping them with plowing the fields. And now we have industrial harvesters that do nearly automatic huge areas of the farm fields. Another industry that was affected and no one talks about anymore is blacksmiths. I know it's a cheap example, but still it existed. Blacksmiths were really necessary. They helped to get the next industrial revolution going. Without blacksmiths, we wouldn't have horses, we wouldn't have horseshoes, metal working, and all this kind of things that were connected to blacksmiths. Now you don't see that anymore. It's not a job anyone wants to do, or I highly doubt it even exists somewhere. Another thing where we see right now happening in real time a change in the industry is the oil and gas industry. They have to change, they know it, and they fight like hell to prevent and stretch out the transition. However, it's already happening. Renewable energies like wind and solar are already taking over oil and gas in energy production. And this will not stop. So this is another industrial revolution that is happening where people have to think about where to find new possibilities and new ways to get a job and work in different industries. So what I want to say with that is it is normal that industries change and we should not fear and fight it because that's not helping. AI is like the cars to the horses. You can't prevent it. So I think we should dive into and see what can we do right now with AI. Is it already where we can say, okay, it's good? Should we really think it's just another tool? Or will it actually steal our jobs and we'll have nothing to do anymore? Let's just have a look at the tool I want to show you. that affects our industry, the 3D visual effects industry. And I'll say, let's have a look what AI can do right now, today. You can download it. It's for free right now. And you can play around. And probably you can already start thinking and building new workflows and new pipelines. Because it is all about in this video. We have to think about new ways. We have to think about how can we AI use for our advantage so that we can get something out of it, so that we can actually use it just as a tool. And what I want to show you is fairly new AI model that is a CRM model, and it's short for single image to 3D texture mesh with Convolutional Reconstruction Model. So that's a mouthful and way too complicated for me to repeat. So it's a tongue twister, I would say. So CRM, what it means is you take one photo, one image, and out of this image, you get a 3D object. And when you think about it in normal ways, that's not possible. Everyone would say that's not possible because an image is a 2D representation, and there's no way you can create 3D out of one single image. However, AI has surprised many people in what it can do. I guess let's have a look, and you can judge on your own what AI can do right now and how we can use it for our industry to our advantage. So let me switch to my second monitor. So what you see here right now is I'm using an AI tool called Comfy UI. And with that tool, I've set up a 3D generation from one image, a CRM workflow. They call that workflow. And I'm not concentrating on the right now how this software works, how the workflow works. I just want to mention some important things that are relevant to our industry. What you're seeing here right now is locally produced. I'm not using any web service. I'm not sending out anything to the web or to a cloud server. So this is done with hardware you can buy. You probably already have as a 3D artist. So your PC is already powerful enough to do that locally. And that's the important part. At least what I get as feedback from our customers and what I think is important is the actual protection of IP, privacy, and all the know-how you have as an artist should stay with you and not get out for use with anyone else. So if you invest hours and hours and hours, it should be your benefits of it. Everything you see here will be processed locally. Yes, at times it takes some processing time, it takes some hard disk space and so on. However, nothing is going out, all is under your control, and you can adjust it and use it to your own advantage. So let me just start with a few simple things we want to do. Let me just bring up a simple image here. So that's a very low resolution image, as you can see here. And we want to create out of this image a 3D object. So let me just drag and drop this little dragon in here. And let's initiate our AI system. So it will take a few seconds to process the image. What's happening right now is that our GPU, you can see the progress here. So what it does is it extracts the image, the photo we have here. It removes the background, which I will show you later is a very amazing task on its own. It creates a mask. So background is removed, so we know this is our object. Then it prepares the image for further processing. And now we have two steps that are happening, which are quite amazing and remarkable. So one step is that the AI automatically creates, we will see that popping up in a few seconds, the AI will create a top view, side view, front view, back view. So 6 views from this object from a single image. And now you might ask, how is that even possible? How does the system know how this dragon looks from the back? Or how would this system even know from the front image, how does it look from top? And there comes the training data of this AI system. The training data actually saw a lot of these images, thousands or probably 10,000s of images, and the AI can hallucinate, so to say, or make up missing data. And because it's just all a lie, this AI system is doing, because it cannot really know how this thing looks from the back. It could have a rocket pack, for example, on the back. However, it's very unlikely. Or it could have a hole in there and torn up. However, again, very unlikely. So what AI systems do, and they are actually not really artificial intelligence. There's nothing intelligent about it. It's just a big, large, massive database with weights on it. So probabilities. And here you can already see, let me just zoom in. This is amazing. From one front view, it reconstructed all the 6 viewports. That is insane. Just by a database that looked at thousands of pictures, it can create probabilities. How would that object look from top? How would the object look from the back? So the next step is creating out of these objects or these viewports depth maps and normals. So you will see that in the next step, which also takes a little bit of time. However, once we have fired up the AI, the next pictures we will create will run a little bit faster. So the very first step takes a little bit longer, but then you will see that we get the depth maps or distance information. And from that, it will create a 3D object. And we can use this 3D object like any other 3D object in 3D Studio Max, for example, or Maya, or any other 3D application. Once more, this is done locally. I'm recording right now in 4K, audio, video, everything is happening on the same machine. So also the video processing and compression is done through the hardware. So it might take a little bit longer here. So now we saw the next step here. That's the depth extraction of these viewports. So now the 2-step or 3 steps right now we had. First, taking our photograph, extracting the important object, creating the viewports, creating the depth information, and now it's up to the mesh generation. So out of this information, it will create a mesh with textures. So you get everything in one go. And now you will see the next tests we do will go much faster. And look at this result. We get this 3D object here. We can load that into 3D Studio Max if we wanted to. And we have a 3D object here from one single image. And that is status quo right now. This technology, let me just show you what I was talking about, is this single image to 3D texture mesh. This technology right now exists, is probably, I think, 6 months old. And you can use that right now. And it creates an insane, amazing amount of 3D objects just with one image. And you can see the quality is pretty good, all considering it's one single image that is used to create these kind of objects. So this technology you can use right now. It runs on your, just go back on your hardware. And now let's take something real. Let me just drag and drop, or let me show you first the next picture we want to try out. That's a photograph of a horse. And let's see what it can do. It's just one individual single image. Let's just try that. And I'll run and start the process again. And now you saw it's now much faster because all the AI database is now on the graphics card. And now it's just up to the processing of the data. So now everything we try out is much, much faster. And keep in mind, this is locally processed. I'm not sending this out to the internet to a render farm with 1,000 NVIDIA cards. It's one NVIDIA card I have here that is processing all this data. So that's pretty amazing. And now it created the depth map, and we will see in a few seconds the 3D object. Look at this. And that's from a simple photograph. You just throw in a photograph and you get your 3D model. Now you might say, oh, Edwin, that's exactly what I'm fearing. You talked about, oh, revolution, oh, industrial revolution, we have to live with it. That is killing my job. No, it's not killing your job. Use this tool. Instead of being afraid of it, go out, install it on your system. Use this tool to your advantage. And once more, this is just the start and the beginning. You can train these models with your individual products or objects you have. So you can create for your own advantage of your skill set a know-how base so that you can work more effectively and efficient and get out your 3D models much faster. And once more, one individual image creates this 3D model. Let's try something else. How about something really complicated? Let's take, for example, a picture of a human. So let me just bring that in again because I was talking about removing background. So that's a normal photograph. And let's see how this works. So, and you can see background removed. There is nothing, no artifact, anything. Background is removed, perfect, prepared for 3D processing. And now from one image, from one picture, it is creating all the viewports. And it's just astonishing how this system can predict how an object would look from the back, from the lower part, from the top, and from the side. And based on this, it will create the depth maps. And then based on the combination of everything, we will get a 3D object right here. And yes, there is restrictions. And yes, there is controls we might need to adjust to get it cleaner. However, you get a 3D model, a 3D mesh, so to say, for free, just with a photo. And then you can bring it into your pipeline, refine it, use retopology, and all these kind of workflows you already know. So let's try another one. Let's try this photo of this little guy here, this little robot. Once more, this is a 2D image. It's flat. The AI can figure out how this might look like in 3D. Let me just run this through. And same deal, background removal, masking, automatic generating, preparation for, or this will be fed into our AI system. Now the AI system and the neural net database is working, is creating its probabilities. Where would a pixel land? How would that object look? Is it square? Is there a depth involved? And look at the this is the side view. It's just guessing. It's just estimating, or out of thin air. It's just estimating, okay, that could be something like that. And then it creates a depth map of all this stuff. And from top, we can see that. So nearly with no information at all, it can estimate really well how this thing looks like in 3D. And look at that. This is just amazing. You can just use that object and get it into 3D Studio Max, for example. Let me just go and find the mesh. Let me just go into the output folder where we have the output. Let me just get the latest output. And let me just bring up the 3D app from Microsoft. Yes, we proceed that. And let me just open file, open. We load the image in here. That's the image we just created. And here we have our little robot. And now we can export it as OBJ and load this back into 3D Studio Max. So you actually get a really highly detailed mesh out of this system. And all you need to feed in is one single image. And this image could be anything. Let me just show you the next image I want to use. This little toy dinosaur. Same deal. We start that. It extracts the background, does the object preparation. Now it is guessing how the object looks in every angle. And yes, there is pictures that work good and well, and there's pictures that don't work that good. However, that's a little bit you need to explore on your own, and that will become your own know-how. So the more you get friendly with this AI system, the more you can get out of it. So it is actually a pretty amazing piece of software we see here. And as I mentioned, and I'll repeat myself, that is just the beginning of the AI revolution. So these things will only get better. But what I get already out of this as a 3D model is amazing. It's, yes, we have to go over it, put it in Max, remesh, retopology, all the things, and better use these textures, these views, and project the textures. However, there is a pipeline and workflow waiting for you to explore. So this needs to be used to our advantage. So how about if we use this kind of things? So photos with distance, depth of field, and all this. Let's just try that. So I'm just going and trying out individual single images and turn them into 3D. Same deal, it removed the background, created the mask automatically for us, and that's the image that is fed to the AI system, to the CRM system. And now it is using its neural network and database and probabilities and guessing how this little mushroom will look like from all angles. And look at the bottom, it created this. From the top, it created this. It's insane. It doesn't know, it can't know how the top looks like, but it is estimating or guesstimating how this mushroom is looking from the top, from the side, and all angles. It's just insane. And now I hear my graphics card is getting hot. So all the processing we do is taking its toll on the graphics card. But here we go. Here we have our 3D mushrooms, including textures. Just from one single image. Isn't that amazing? It's really insane. How about this? Let's talk about this little picture. And talking about background removal, this AI is pretty amazing. When we execute this, and this will be my last one, so you know how this thing works and how amazing this technology is. And with increased training, more data, this will only get better. And I can see a workflow where you can create really fast 3D objects that you can use in actual productions. Probably not the hero shots. That might take a few more iterations and evolutions or different workflows. But for the background, to fill it with stuff there that doesn't exist or you don't want to model, here we go. Here's our tiger from one single image. Yes, we have to fix the texture, but that's all we know that. That's your know-how as 3D artist. You can fix that. The average user out there can't fix that, but we can do that. We know how textures work and how UV mapping works. And again, this technology will also evolve a lot. What does this all mean? Why did I show you this AI stuff? I wanted to show you from our industry, 3D visual effects, 3D modeling, 3D animation. Yes, there's tools out there that look at, when you have a first look at it, look scary because they're threatening your know-how, threatening your workflow or your industry. But they are not. These are just new tools with new workflows. Yes, it sucks. You probably have to learn new stuff, get comfortable with it, but you already can do that. You learn 3D, the hardest part of all. And that's your advantage and that's your know-how only you have. And we are working on tools as well that help you in creating faster, easier, and better visual effects. And we are actively, and this is also the reason why I'm showing you, we are actively looking in how can we use this amazing technology to give you new tools that keep you occupied, that keep you at the top, where you can create visual effects like no one else. And trust me, we're deep into looking how can we benefit, how can we create a tool for you guys so that you can grow and have a benefit of the AI revolution that is coming, that's for sure. It's not if, it's just a matter of when is this here. I really want to encourage you, give your comment. What do you think? What do you think about AI and the revolution? What do you think about threatening our jobs in the 3D industry? Do you think it the same way as I think? It is a natural evolution of an industry? Or what is your idea? Leave a comment, please. And also, please leave a like and subscribe, because that's very important. And if you want, we can dive deeper into AI and I can explain how to install especially this type of AI software and how it works. As I mentioned, I didn't want to make a tutorial video on Comfy UI, but if you're interested in that, I'm more than happy to look into it and create a tutorial video on that matter. Once more, I want to thank you for listening to me. I hope you leave a comment and we can start a discussion and explore together how the future will look like for our industry. And hope to see you again. Thank you. Goodbye.